topics that you want to discuss, what you want to work on, and it'll show.
I don't know if you guys heard it, but there was a few more echoes there, right? I mean, from the Career Fest yesterday, what did they talk about? Branding.
Right.
What? Again, here we go. And did we not listen to James Brown yesterday? It's a man's world. But it will be nothing
Without a woman.
I'm telling you, they did not talk, guys. They didn't. So just keep listening. Keep listening. The next thing is, we talked about things outside the box, and we had a great couple of suggestions about the resume. What are some opportunities for where they are at now? Because they aspire to be where you guys are. We know that none of your guys' path is what you thought it was going to be. One opportunity led to the next. Where are some of the opportunities that lie for them? Where could they possibly serve their way to success, to get their foot in the door?
Volunteer. I have so many events coming to LA. NBA All-Stars in February, they're going to need 300 volunteers. College football playoff, they're going to need 3,000 volunteers.
Anybody write that down?
Call any of the major events. Call annual events. Call the marathon. Volunteer for the marathon. And don't just show up and hand cups of water out. Call the people from the marathon and say, can I come in and help you beforehand? Do you need any help in the office? Do you need help with this? My first internship was with the Raiders, and I said, I will move footballs. What do you need me to do? And they hired me. And so I went every summer when I was in college and interned with the Raiders. Go above and beyond as a volunteer, and it will help you because people will notice and they'll refer you to the people that they know.
You know, like Boys and Girls Clubs are great places to volunteer. Anything that you are passionate about or interested in, all the local community groups. So I may not be able to take you as a volunteer at the Lakers, but if you're already at the Boys and Girls Club and I'm over there and we're doing events, then that's going to make me take a second look. So volunteering is the key to get to where we are.
Because I'm going to find out where she passing turkeys out on Monday. I'm going to find out where she about to be in February for the All-Star. I'm just saying.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. That first thing out of my mouth, volunteering. That is a must for all of you. It helps you. You know, it's funny. I work on a BET with the BET experience, and one of the BET execs was speaking to some students, and she said she got this job. And she said, I sent a shoe with my resume. And we were all like, she said, I sent a shoe, one shoe with my resume, and in the note with my resume, it said, how can I get the other shoe in the door? But it's funny. It's like, you know, you really have to reach out to, and like she said, the newsletters is a great suggestion. I mean, we all have them. We have the stadiums, and also it helps you when you go into those internships because it allows you to know about the business. It allows you to know what things they are doing, what programs we are doing for the community, what also the events that come there. It helps you learn knowledge. So those newsletters, getting that information will help, and it also tells you when we have events, you know when there's volunteers are going to be needed, especially for our community initiative events.
I'm going to jump in there and say, did you have something? He's such a gentleman. The other thing I wanted to say too is what's really important, what's going on with your LinkedIn. How I was found to be on this panel last year, Josh found me on LinkedIn. How's your LinkedIn? Are you following the company? I follow the Lakers. I follow AEG. Now that I've met Demetrius, I guess I follow ESPN. I follow ESPN. Who are you following? I go on your LinkedIn and I want to come work for her and I'm not even following the Lakers. You don't even know what we're doing, where we're at. People that LinkedIn is an HR Bible. I'm going to tell you, it's an HR Bible. Yes, your Instagram, your Facebook, all that's important, but the first thing there, if you don't have a LinkedIn page, they're probably not even going to look past it.
Does everybody have LinkedIn?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Hey, my man, can you come sit up in the front? Red tie.
So yeah, your LinkedIn page, they're going to look on it. Is people making, did you leave an internship and before you left, did somebody write a recommendation on there? Did they say, you know, you can make those little recommendations on there? Did someone,
they can endorse your skills.
Right. Did someone take the time to say, hey, I worked with this person for 6 weeks. They were on time. They were great. Wish I wasn't losing them, but I don't, you know, anything. And I mean, sometimes you can ask them to do it. Some people will do it just because. But LinkedIn is very important. Like just technology, they'll look at your LinkedIn before they look at your resume. And don't think they're not going to compare that resume and your LinkedIn. So if you were a coordinator there, do not put that you were the director on LinkedIn. Please don't. because they're gonna be like, really? So you told me coordinator on the paper, but on here now you're the director? Like, they're gonna call. Small world. What did she just say? They know each other. She could have called and told her about me.
I'm trying to get a job up here.
She's networking.
Networking. I don't know the next time I'm gonna see her.
And to speak, like, networking is obviously very important, but I just want to say something that's like very, very elementary and trivial. Like, you cannot build a house on sand. So if you guys don't equip yourself with the skills now, then tomorrow's going to be much more difficult. And I'm going to say this is a little, you got to know some shit. Like, come on, right? People come to me all the time, I want to work for ESPN, and I ask them questions. Bang, 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 bang. They know nothing. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Like, you have to know something. And I'll look at it. So if somebody asks me a question, and they don't know the answer, and I'll just stare at them. Just look at them. And I say, you have this 700.
He said, what are you going to do with your life? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? And I'm like, excuse me? Like, really? Like, I take care of you. Right. And I'm like, well, now that you ask. He goes, Mom, I know you think that you're going to retire from Bank of America or Merrill Lynch, but you might have to go to another company that will really recognize you for your potential.
That's looking for him, and something's going on, and he wants to update him. I came out of Ralph's, I promise you, Ralph's by USC. I came out of Ralph's, checked my answer machines. He was like, hey, what's up? This is JB from the Rams. I'm looking for Jamel Holloway. Can you call me back? I called my brother on three-way. I connected Joe, and he said, it's your little sister, the girl from the stand? He said, no problem. I sent my resume to Joe. Joe sent it to Julia. I had an interview, but what she said that I said in the interview, do you need me to come to St. Louis and help you guys come here? And that's why she offered me the job. The fact that I was willing to come to St. Louis for 2 months and work with them before they even got here is why I did an interview. She was like, hey, so we're starting game days on June. Can you check the schedule and let me know if you can make all the home games and you can work for us? It's that extra thing. It's going up and beyond. It's showing that you really want it. Again, and I wasn't asking for a job. I said, you guys are coming here. I'm from here. This is my hometown. I know it in and out. I can tell you what you need. And I do game days, but now they call me for food. Because we get fed in the press box. So I told them, I was like last year, Roscoe's video, I was like, I'm telling you, I got a better chicken and wings waffle place. I said, it's called Wings and Waffles. It's a truck. I'm telling, like, and sure.
I'm using them next week.
That's my Wings and Waffles came and fed us for the first preseason game. And that's just a friend of mine. I called him and I was like, can you make it work for, I was like, I don't know how you're gonna do it, you don't have no kids. He's like, I will make the chicken in the truck downstairs and run it up. And he did, and that's what he did. It'll be easier because I know you guys are right outside, right there. So he had to cook it in the truck downstairs and run the chicken and the waffles up to the press box. But it was all because I met him, great guy, he came to my church, he did something for us, I took his card, and I was like, food, Rams, Joe, John. Julia was like, yeah, we don't want the same food last year. You never know.
Yeah, put the Lakers on that list. We need some wings on one.
I got the number.
I need the opportunity.
Okay, I'll let her do it.
See how that works? Like, this is real life.
No, it all makes sense. I think for me, I just graduated from college. I was working on a radio station. There was a radio station here in LA called 100.3 The Beach. And I was working with Steve Harvey, and I was on the street team, and I was having a whole lot of fun, but I didn't have no money, which didn't really make a lot of sense to me. And we were, it was party, so it was fun. But we were hosting a golf tournament, and I knew Mark Brown from KABC Channel 7 was going to be there. So I researched Mark Brown. I knew he went to USC, went to Annenberg. So I kind of was like ready. I was equipped. I knew what I wanted to talk to him about when I got the opportunity. So I was doing my one job, my street team stuff, and then I saw him and I flipped. I said, excuse me, Mr. Brown, I totally changed everything. Hey, I know my name might be Hero. My street team ain't here. My name is Demetrius Harris. I just graduated from Berkeley. Bang, 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 bang. I would like to work at ABC. But he was like, whoa. Like, you know I went to Edinburgh? I was like, I know everything about you.
And that's important too, to have, it's called your elevator pitch, like your minute long about you. If you can't tell me, that's the first question I ask everybody, tell me about yourself. If you can't sell yourself, if you can't tell me about yourself, then what can you sell?
And I tell people, like, just imagine if you're like going on a date with somebody. Like, it's pretty simple. It's not really that difficult. Who are you? Like, you want to look presentable. Like, you want to, be something, right? Stand up straight and, do the same thing when you meet these young ladies, when you meet someone like me. Like, it's really not that difficult. And don't say no dumb stuff.
Right, and what he said about knowing about the person, my job that I interviewed when I worked with her at AEG, the person that interviewed me, she was in a sorority. She was an SG role. I knew she was an SG role, and my brain was off. I sent my resume on pink paper, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I was like, those are not her colors. So I interviewed, and then I told her, I was like, please excuse the pink paper. I didn't mean, I know you're an SG role. And she was like, I didn't even pay it any attention, but the fact that you took that much time to know that much about me, she was like, you'll probably get a call from me. And then that's how I ended up interviewing with the person that we worked for and everything like that. But I knew that much. And I told her in the interview at the end, I was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to send the resume on pink paper. I know you're an SG role. And she was like, are you in a sorority? And I said, yes, I'm a Delta and everything like that. But the fact that I took that much time to not just know what she does, what's her extracurricular activities, does she sit in on any boards? What does she like to do? All that type of stuff. People, again, that pitch, that conversation. If you just say, hi, I'm Danae, nice to meet you, I want to work for ABC, you would have been like, okay, I'm Mark Brown,
Yeah,
like,
no
can I help you?
Right. But be sincere too. Like, all this advice, don't go overboard. Because I've had the opposite. I've had a young lady come up to me at an event. She was like, oh my God, I only came to this event to meet you. And I knew you were going to be here, and I did all this research. But I knew that she was already looking for the next thing. She was looking through me to find out who else she could go to. And she was trying to use like certain buzzwords. And she only wanted a job, not an opportunity. And it really turned me off. I was trying to introduce her to somebody that I thought might even be a better fit. And she was kind of blowing that person off. And it really bothered me. And then she kind of felt like she was my contemporary. She asked me, could we go to happy hour? No, I am not meeting you for a cocktail.
Nope.
You're 24 years old or whatever. Her pitch was all wrong. She had done the research. She knew everything that was on LinkedIn about me, but she did not deliver that sincerely. So you can go too far, so be careful with that. And then the only other thing that I wanted to say was, you can start joining boards as early as now. You can be advisory members on boards. That's something that I didn't do when I was in my 20s. I'm on 3 boards, not 10 like Tamala, but 3.
You want some fun?
But yeah, no,
I'll call you next week.
she can help everybody. But think about that. Like, that would really impress me if I'm looking at your resume and you are actually on a board or an advisory board or a committee. Those are things that you guys can aspire to right now. You don't have to wait to get the job. You can be on the board at the Boys and Girls Club. They're looking for young people. There's a group that I belong to, Women in Sports and Entertainment. It is a very powerful group here in Los Angeles. And right now they are looking for millennials to be on their board.
Right.
They're not looking for me.
Write that down, guys. Like, seriously.
They're looking for millennials. And they're looking for minority women to be on this board. It's something that they're lacking. So you got to think outside of the box. Could you be that person that they're looking for? And these women are very connected.
List your volunteer history on your resume. I put that all the time. Like, sometimes that may get your one foot in the door. Like, I work with elected officials. Like, I've worked with Karen Price. I've worked with Mike Gibson. Like, I put that on there. So that obviously they're like, okay, well, this is somebody that can walk, they can work with a VP, and they can walk around with elected officials. And it's just volunteer history, but if I'm working with them with their campaign. I did with the LAPD, I did the peace walk, the 2015 peace walk. You never know, she may need some protection. I may have to call her police officers.
So being intentional and sincere is kind of the nuggets from there. And before we get into your questions, I got one more. We know we have the glamorous perception of sports and entertainment, right? Guys, I did 2 internships with the minor league baseball team back in Columbus. I I realized it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I would like to hear from you guys some of the bad and the ugly, what they can expect, that it's not all about the lights, the game days, but what are some things that you got to go through that you have to persist through, and how you guys kind of overcame that and those tough times in sports entertainment.
No sleep.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's
No-
crazy hours. It really
No
is.
sleep, no weekends, maybe no holidays.
Yes.
I am a mom, I am a wife, and I have to learn to do that work-life balance. I have to make sure that first, family. And then I have to make sure that I'm doing what I need to do for my job. So when you preparation, if you prepare for whatever you need to do, whether it's an event or whatever you're planning on doing, it allows you to be able to multitask and be able to give to your family and also give to your job and do them both very well. But it's something you have to, it's something it's hard. I'm not gonna tell you it's easy. It's not easy. It's hard. And in the entertainment and sports entertainment, it is a work-life balance. And it also, especially, no offense to you fellas, but if you are a woman, we always have to go over and beyond. And so I want to keep in mind that you will lose sleep. You will not have those weekends. You will have to say, baby, I got to do this event today, but it's one of those things where you work it out and you make it happen, but it's going to take work. And it's not going to be easy.
I'm gonna piggyback on that. ESPN never goes off the air. Think about that.
Right.
SVP.
There's somebody, I love Scott. He's a really good guy. There's always somebody at work. So at 3 o'clock in the morning, somebody's there. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, somebody is there. I work 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. I'm up at 4 a.m. And that's cush. And I'm off on weekends. You almost can't get better than my schedule, really. At 6 a.m., I miss traffic going. I'm off at 2, I miss traffic leaving. I'm pretty much good money on my end. But I lived in Bristol, Connecticut. I'm from Los Angeles, 70 degrees all the time. Moved to Bristol, Connecticut. 7 degrees all the time. And there were nights where I would get off work and I'm like, I know I parked right there, but my car is under snow. And I'm not built for this, right? Like, I'm an LA dude, I ain't got time for this, right? But that was a sacrifice I had to make. But, to speak to the point of the question, ESPN never goes off the air, so you're gonna take an L. So you're just gonna have to accept that, right?
Sacrifice. That's the key word you just said, sacrifice. The Lakers play every Christmas Day. Every Christmas Day.
I know,
Turn on
I
your
have
TV.
to work those days. And I hate it.
I have to work those days too. The holiday season, it's our busiest time of year for me.
Yes.
So on Thursday, when we fed the 300 kids, my poor staff had to get there at 8 o'clock in the morning. They didn't go home until 8 o'clock at night because we had a full carnival. We brought Kyle Kuzma and Brandon Ingram. I mean, we did everything. Now, I was at another event while they were there, but we had to do that because we wanted to give back to those kids. They worked from 8 in the morning, think about that, to 8 at night. So it's about sacrifice. It's not always beautiful and glamorous. On Christmas Day, I see my family, and by 3:30, 4 o'clock, I'm on my way to Staples. Because why? I have 32 kids that are going to be on the court exchanging gifts with the players. That's going to make their Christmas day, but I have to be there. I have another 60 kids that I have a party for upstairs at Staples Center. I need to be there to pass out gifts to them. I mean, these things don't just happen. People have to make them happen. And whether you're at the top or you're the intern, we all have to make these sacrifices.
And what time is that Laker game?
That game is probably 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Okay, so it's a 6 o'clock game, right? So the Cavs usually play in the morning.
Yes.
Think about the coast, So those games are on what? ABC. So you guys wake up, you're like, oh, I'm about to chill, open my gifts, eat a little bit, and turn on the game. We've already been at work, because you turn on and see the game. ABC, there's a pregame show. There's NBA Countdown. There's Monday Night Countdown. Like the graphics, somebody has to design all that stuff prior. It doesn't just happen, right? So there are a lot of sacrifices to be made, and so this is the last thing I'm gonna say about this. The one thing I hated, those Dodger games come on at 7:30 at night when I was in Connecticut, because guess what time that is?
10:30. Oh, you're gonna stay all night.
And that game, if it wasn't like Kershaw or somebody who moves fast, that game is gonna go 3 hours.
Extra innings, yeah.
At least.
And you're like, oh my God, what is happening? What?
Starbucks.
You know, it's like, but that happens, right? And you're like, we can't leave until the game is over because the Dodgers are good, so the Dodgers probably have to go in the top of the show, you know, or somebody hits a walk-off, you can't just not talk about it. So we can't leave until the game is over, so you're gonna there are gonna be some sacrifices.
And the other thing too is if you're a fan of the team or you're a fan of the game, that's great. But I don't want a fan of the team volunteering at my event and not doing their volunteer work because all they want to do is hang out with Lonzo Ball.
Right.
I want somebody who is knowledgeable and who knows what they're talking about, but somebody who can pay attention and can get the job done. So you might think, I want to work in sports because I love the Lakers or I love the Rams, but that's not all that it takes. It really takes so much more focus and commitment.
So 2 things I want to say really quick, 2 different instances. So before I got into sports, I was in TV and entertainment. I worked on The Voice. When I tell you we literally wanted to strangle Christina Aguilera, we were like, lady, if you don't hit this button and pick somebody, we had to be there at 6 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes we didn't go home until after 12 o'clock, 12 a.m., not p.m. And remember, you can't leave set, because you got all the people coming in to audition. So we're talking about auditions for The Voice. Until everybody had their, blind 8 now, or whatever, when they had their 8 people on their team, or their 10 people on their team, like literally one night, Christina was just like, nope, that's not it. I was like, this lady, she's singing. She is singing to the hills for you. Like, it's so funny. I mean, I think Adam wanted to get on one time and was like, hit the button, we are ready to go home. So that's one instance. And then if you think like on game day for the Rams, like if you think, so they play on Sundays, right? So if you think that Saturday and Sunday I'm just chilling, not doing nothing, like, oh, that's the busiest day. That is the day, like she said, I don't get to see Aaron Donald. I don't get to talk to any of them. I'm running around. Like, that is the busiest time. So don't think like, oh, game days, we gonna come to the stadium, we gonna see Kobe in it. No. Like, you're probably nowhere even near them. Like she said, you got 60 kids upstairs. You're running around. This coach needs that. You got to make sure the visiting coach has that. You got to make sure the visiting statistics has this. Is there enough paper in there? Did we check the ink? Is
Chicken and waffles.
Right. Chicken and waffles.
Make sure my chicken and waffle guy is there and it's hot and it's on time. You're usually moving. So that's the day you're not going to get any rest.
And think about the seasons and the teams. The Dodgers have 81 home games. 81. I know this because I worked out there and I went to probably 60 of them. So when I got to the Lakers and there were only 41 home games, I was like, yes, I can do this. But 41 times that I'm there, and if I'm not there, I better have a really good reason why I'm not there, and that means I'm somewhere else doing something.
And I will add on for a perfect example, like BET Awards and like AMAs, which are happening on Sunday. That's been going on. I mean, you see it Sunday, but it's been happening for weeks.
They've been downtown all week.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, those things, because you got to realize, there's a certain time they have to be in their seats on show day, and there are also all those commercials that you're watching, we're working. So you have to keep in mind that you have to, if you come into this industry, it is not a 9 to 5. It is not. And if that's what you want, this is not the place to be. This is not the place to be. So, and I love that Allison brought up the point, when we have events, we're doing a holiday event with the players on Monday. When we have events like that, we bring in volunteers. We, thank you for being a fan. We appreciate our fans, but when you come to work, you're working. You're working. I don't need you sliding your phone out of your purse to get a selfie. I don't need that to be going down so it could be on social media. I need you to come to work. And everybody up here needs you to come to work. So I just keep that in mind, because some people look at the entertainment and sports as this whole glamorous thing. Yeah, it's a wonderful profession to be in, but it's work. It's work. And I'm not going to tell you a lie about that. It is work, and it is very time consuming. It's you have to multitask, you have to learn to do a lot of things, and this is the time to learn it, because you're going to need that going into this business, and you're going to need that tough skin.
And we all enjoy some of the perks. We're not going to say that we don't have any
Yeah.
fun, okay?
Yeah, we do have our fun.
But we work for those perks. I mean, we
Yes.
have done some things to be able to sit in the front row or courtside or whatever it is that we're doing, or going to the World Series games. We do enjoy that, and those things come sometimes few and far between. And we appreciate the fact that we can take our families and do some things for them that they would never have an opportunity to do. But trust and believe, we have paid in some way, shape, or form
to do that.
And you know, at ESPN, it's actually a policy that you can't take pictures with the people that come in.
Thank you.
Like, you can get fired.
Absolutely.
So it's like real gangster. Like, you can't just like somebody comes in there. It's not like, hey, there's magic. Like, hey, you're fired.
Yeah, like I'm sitting in the cafeteria at work with him. We're not taking selfies at that moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've heard the good, the bad, and the ugly. Please give it a round of applause for our panelists. We've got a few moments for a few questions. So does anybody have anything that they would like to ask?
I had a question for the whole panel. Like, very respected musicians, media relations, producers, work in agencies, directors. What were your undergraduate degrees? And do you have to go to grad school, MBAs? What's the best major for your position?
I'll go. I will say, mine was marketing, but I will tell you that in this industry, planning is very difficult to do, because you're always going to have those different roads that you're going to take. This industry has many roads that you will take. I can't tell you, if you want to go into communications, you want to go to, make sure that whatever you do major in, it's across the board. It can filter in, and you know that this is the industry that you want to go in. You want to make sure that what you're studying can cover across the board. So, if, for example, if you want to go into healthcare, then you know this is not the business that you want to be in. That's where your focus will be. But I will tell you, and this is where I say, study the trends. Know what's coming, because you're going to need to be ahead of the game. So know that when you're taking those classes and you're learning different things and you're learning into, because all of us have a whole host of people under the entertainment industry, whether it's green initiatives, community, technology, we have lawyers, we have PR people. There's a whole host of people that fall underneath the entertainment industry. It's a machine. And so keep in mind that we offer a lot under this umbrella. You're just seeing a little bit here. There's a whole machine under there. So, we even have people, our folks that work with our athletes that are working our rehab centers and health and things. So we have a host of things. So what I say is just make it, when you do make your major, just understand that it's a broad, if you want to go into entertainment, you have a host of things that you can go into in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, I was an English major.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, but I use
Can't go wrong with
that.
that.
Yeah, I use that in communicating with people.
Exactly.
I was a psychology and communications major, so major at UCSB.
I made
Business management.
I made my own major at Berkeley. So it's called American Studies, but my emphasis was journalism. So I went to Howard University and took classes at Howard. I have an interesting background. So basically, Berkeley sent me to Howard to take classes. So when I came back, I was like, I'm making up my own thing, because y'all not doing this how I need it to be done. But I would say, like, if you want to go into journalism, if you want to report, it is not necessary to get a graduate degree. But if you do, you want to go to one of the better schools. That's Medill and Northwestern, Annenberg, USC. You want to go to Syracuse. You want to go to Missouri. Like, there's some schools that if you go there, you're good money, right? Because they take care of you, like Stanford. If I had to do it all over again, I probably would have went to go play football at Stanford. if I could like start all over, if I like knew what was happening, but like I didn't know, so I was like, no, do whatever. But if I had to do it all over again, I would go to Stanford, because once you get in, like they take care of you, and there's something to be said for the networking that comes along with going to these upper tier universities, not just those schools, but you want to take advantage of like the resources and the family that comes along with it. So if someone's interested in journalism, you know, I joined the National Association of Black Journalists. I mean, that's how I got my job. You know, so I was like, hey, I'm here, what do I do, you know? And then I saw my peers, and I was like, okay, he's got a nice suit on, and my suit looks great. He gonna get a job before I'm gonna get the job. Because I'm looking like terrible out here, but I think I'm cool, but like, it didn't really work like that. So the networking thing, the being with like-minded people and people who know more than you. Because, I mean, if you're just around like your peers, they don't know shit. Right?
Don't always be the smartest person in the room.
Please.
Be respectful. Be respectful.
All right, we have one more brief question. Anybody dying to ask a question?
Okay, yeah. Hi, my name is Hilda. I'm a student at Cal State Long Beach. First of all, it's so wonderful to see so many ladies up here. Like,
So you don't want to see me?
No.
No. I got you.
You too. I got you. But it's just, you know, women. You know, I really connect with all of you.
Me too.
So I guess my question has to do with standing out. I truly value being different, or at least seeing the differences in different people. And I know, Ms. Kiesha Nix, you mentioned that when you sent out your resume, you threw in a quote in there. Would you mind sharing with us that quote in particular? Because I know that I've been looking for different ways to stand
because I
out.
didn't do it. My friend did it, but it was about service. And it did speak to what it is I did and what I do. And it was about service. It was just something that I never thought about doing.
And then I also do have another question. If you all mind just sharing like a particular story of a time where you were given a task or a particular job and you went above and beyond and you were recognized for it. And that's right then and there where you felt like, oh man, like this is what I want to do. Like a time where you kind of had like an epiphany of what it was that you wanted to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, a lot of questions in that one.
Yeah.
She was sneaky.
So the Inglewood Stadium that's being built right now, that stadium got confirmed with about 2 months before the deadline to submit a bid for the Super Bowl was due. And the Sports Commission works on bids, like I mentioned before, and they sent us the RFP for the Super Bowl, and they said, this is due in 2 months, can you get it done? Every other city had a year and a half to work on this. We worked super late every night. We worked really closely with the Rams and Kevin Demoff, who kind of runs things over there, and we got everything submitted. We won the bid, and I got an email from Kevin, who's just like the nicest human, and he said, thanks so much, this couldn't have been done without you guys. And that, for me, was obviously a time that hard work paid off, but good, just reminder of like why we're doing what we're doing.
I do apologize, forgive me. I'm going to have to cut us off. We're going to get to our next session. But please, everybody give Allison, Kiesha, Danae, Tamala, we're going to get ready to transition. If you want to ask a question before you guys are rolling out, I'm not going to push you out. So
I will say one last
go for it. Take it deep.
So this is quick. So in my industry, I never get like recognized for anything, right? But you know what I do get? I do get a paycheck every other Thursday.
And sometimes that's great.
And my boss is like, you want to go to All-Star game? I'm like, cool. So that's like the thank you, right?
All right, guys. Once again, give it up for our panelists.
So lunch will be held where you registered at.